Hey viewers and friends, Andrew back again, and welcome to my favourite slasher movies from the 1980s. This is a video response to Giallo Eyes, who posted his top 10 favourite 80s slasher movies. I've got 10 that I'm officially wanting to talk about, and then I've got a few honourable mentions that I think are worth checking out too. I'm sure slasher fans have seen most of these, but if there's any that I'm about to show you haven't seen, well, of course I obviously highly recommend them. So these are in no particular order, and before I get started, if you're not subscribed to Giallo Eyes, I'll be leaving his channel link in the description box below. Please check him out, especially if you're a fan of hard boxes. He's got an amazing collection, and just horror in general. He really likes his horror, so well worth subscribing to. So let's get started. These are in no particular order. First up we have Madman. This one is really underrated, and I don't know why. If you're a fan of Friday the 13th or the Hatchet movies, this is definitely one to check out. Very similar to those. It's a campfire slasher movie, and yeah, it's about a guy called Madman Mars, who, if you are sitting around a campfire and you repeat his name several times, he comes out and kills you. Really good, great slasher actually, and there's some nice music throughout, and it's rather creepy in parts as well. Next up we have Slaughter High. This is the Arrow release, and I believe this is the best release of this movie to date. So if you don't own it, or you're looking for the best version, this is the version to get. This is a great slasher movie with a fantastic theme song. I really love the theme song. This is a revenge style slasher, so it's about a ex-high school student who was bullied in school. He sets up a class reunion for his classmates to basically kill them off one by one. Love the killer, and there's some really great kills in this one. Next we have Silent Night Deadly Night, my favourite Santa or Christmas themed slasher movie. It is pretty cheesy, but I do think it's a rather fun one, and there's some nice kills in it. The next one is April Fool's Day. This gets a lot of fans divided. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's definitely that type of movie, especially with the ending. I personally think it's a fantastic movie, something different in terms of your normal slasher movie, to do with the twist ending, but yeah, this one is a lot of fun. Next up we have My Bloody Valentine. This is one that I would recommend above, or pretty highly on the list actually. This is definitely one to check out if you haven't. It's centered around a Valentine's Day dance, and it takes place in a small mining town where this miner comes back and targets everyone and kills them off. Great premise, and I absolutely love the killer. So yeah, check it out if you haven't. My Bloody Valentine. The next one's Final Exam. This is another one that not many people talk about too much, and it's a difficult one to recommend because it's fairly slow burning, and not a lot happens, especially in terms of the storyline throughout the movie, so it's kind of a difficult one to recommend. I guess if you're a hardcore slasher fan, I would recommend it, but there's just something about this movie that I absolutely love. It reminds me a lot of the original Halloween, and it's about a killer who's stalking a bunch of college students on a big college campus. They're doing their final exams for the semester or whatever, hence the name of the title. And yeah, this unknown killer just stalks the campus and kills them off one by one. Next up we have The Burning. This is just a custom cover that I print it off myself because I prefer it over the horrible MGM release. I really don't need to talk too much about this movie. If you're a fan of slashers at all, you've probably seen it, you probably own it, and if you haven't, well, you should be ashamed of yourself. In my opinion, in a lot of ways, this is the best slasher movie ever made. Pretty much the perfect example of the genre. It's similar to Friday the 13th. It's centered around a summer camp, except it's a little bit more realistic because the campers are a lot younger, and there's some amazing gory kills in this. So if you haven't checked it out, please do so, make it a priority. The next one's Chopping Mall. A lot of people don't consider this a slasher movie. I certainly do. It's centered around a shopping mall security system, which are a bunch of robots, and these group of teenagers get stuck in the mall overnight. The computer system malfunctions and the robots turn into killing machines and start trying to kill them off. So really, really good. This is a great representation of 80s horror. Great 80s feel in this one. Next up we have The Mutilator. This is another really, really rare title. This is the Dragon release from Germany, which is the only official DVD release of the movie. I did a separate review on why I don't think this movie is absolutely amazing, especially in terms of the overall characters. Especially the characters, they're kind of mediocre, but the storyline's pretty fun, but the kills are what makes this movie so much fun. The kills in this are outstanding. Great bunch of kills, all fairly different, and look at that cover art. But yeah, I'd highly recommend checking out The Mutilator if you haven't. Yeah, top-notch kills. The last official one for my top 10 is Intruder. This is another really underrated one, and I think it mostly got forgotten about because it came out towards the end of the 80s. It was one of the last slasher movies from that decade. This is absolutely brilliant. It's a supermarket slasher movie, so it's pretty much a original theme, one of a kind, but oh so brilliant. The kills in this are amazing, and I think the storyline and the characters are pretty good. All round, I really can't fault this slasher movie. It is really, really well done. There's sort of a whodunit aspect to it. It definitely makes you think who the killer is. They sort of make out that a few people could be the killer, and then of course it's revealed later on during the movie, and it all makes sense. But yeah, great kills. Pretty much any kill that you could think of that involves supermarket equipment happens in this movie. So yeah, I highly recommend this one, and I'm really wanting to pick up the Blu-ray release at some point because that has amazing cover art. Alright, so that's the official top 10. Now we'll go on to my honourable mentions. We have Terror Train, not quite my top 10, but still a really, really good one, well worth checking out with Jamie Lee Curtis. The thing that I love about this movie is the killer. He wears different masks and costumes throughout the movie, making him pretty unique. The next one is Happy Birthday to Me. I will admit this took several viewings for me to really get into it, but I think it's a great one. Yeah, pretty fun. There's some nice twists throughout, and I really need to pick up the original DVD release of this one. This is the re-release with the changed soundtrack, so it's the only version I've seen. Another really good one is Motel Hell, about Farmer Vincent who kills off his guests and turns them into fritters. and some amazing cover art on that. And lastly is House on Sorority Row, one of the best sort of college sorority slasher movies. Really well done, a lot of fun and some great kills. So there you have it, my favourite slasher movies from the 1980s. Get your video responses in. I'm really interested to see everyone else's favourite 80s slashers, or leave your comments. Let me know what you think of my picks. And yeah, if there's any movies that I've talked about that you haven't seen, definitely check them out. They're all well worth checking out. And subscribe to Giallo Eyes if you haven't already. And thanks a lot for watching.